Hey everyone, welcome back. This is another episode. The topic du jour is going to be live albums. I see one of those threads going around with people posting live album favorites and this and that, and another one of those 100 greatest live album lists floating around. And believe it or not, I have about three, I think, that were on that list. So the good thing about it, all these different collectors and collections and sources for music, is that it allows for variety. Of course, there's always going to be differences of opinion and, things like that. And in that vein and in that train of thought, I would say that not as as an opposition, in direct opposition or anything, but more as just more selections. Because sometimes you might see live albums out there and, you're not that thrilled with them, with what's available. But I'm here to assure you that there's quite a few that are out there that are great. And the whole thing with the concert experience, and I've been to many, many concerts, is that just like a concert, the experience varies quite a bit. I was thinking of all these variables and reasons having to do with live albums. And the thing is, for example, and this could relate to the concert going experience as well as a live album by a band you love. You go and see the band on tour, or you don't go see them on tour. And then they put out a live album. And the sound quality is not so great. And the album cover art and photography and all that relevant to it, it's not so great. And then to top it off, and not to get all negative here, because I mean to be upbeat and positive at all times. That's all I can do as an earthling. Is, you get that live album, or you go to the tour, or both, and the song selection, it's either songs you don't particularly care for from that artist, or they do a wildly different and not particularly better version of the song. These are some of the variables that come into play. And the only other variable that I suppose I would mention at this time, is the format of your choice. You may not have endless bucks. The live album comes out on CD and vinyl and a DVD and a Blu-ray. If you're a fanatic and a completist in the purest sense of the word, you'll get them all. But, if you're strapped for bucks, or you're not strapped for bucks, but you just like to spread your money around instead of giving it all to one band, you might just get the DVD, or you might just get the Blu-ray, or you might just get the vinyl, you might just get the CD. Some things came out on CD, and that's it. To date, that's how they exist. I still have a couple CD players ready, willing, and able to play discs. Just ask them. Anyway, before I digress any further, I'm just going to start showing some live albums. You'll have to do some research on your own. A lot of these are available on vinyl if that is your champion format. Okay, here we go. This is Wall of Voodoo. This is the Index Masters. Contains some great live songs. Among them, some of the Morricone themes that they covered. I saw the earlier incarnation of Wall and Voodoo in concert quite a few times, and they were always fantastic. I think this one's coming out in some form or another for this upcoming Record Store Day, April 2024. All right, here we have a Soft Cell live album. They put out quite a few live albums, and people may scoff at synth bands and say, oh, what's to see live and all that, but I'll use Soft Cell as a prime example. I've seen them 3 times live. They're one of the best live bands I've ever seen. Great entertainers, a great sense of how to relate to the audience, the pacing of the set. Every aspect of it is cool. All right, so this, this gets into that gray area of live album categorization, let's say. This is the Associates, and this is the BBC Radio 1 sessions, 1 volume, and this is Associates Radio 1 sessions. Okay, this one says volume 1, 81 to 83. And this one says, all right, a little switcheroony here. I believe this is volume 2. Okay, there you go. Volume 2. And moving back in time, volume 1. I like the incarnation of the Associates where it was Billy and Alan and whoever was with them. I was not fortunate enough to see that incarnation. I ain't complaining. Got to see Billy Mackenzie live 2 nights in a row. Moving right along. Viva Roxy Music, a fantastic live album, and anybody who's any kind of a fan knows that mainly the European fans, because they attended these shows, they want a deluxe version of Viva Roxy Music to come out, encompassing, I think this is culled from 3 different concerts, and maybe from more than 1 tour. And, the aficionados who really have that knowledge, they'll tell you it's like, I think it's Glasgow and Newcastle and one other show, maybe Wembley or something. But anyway, they're asking for the complete shows. I say if it can be done, put it out, but of course after some of the super deluxe editions of the studio albums. Okay, next we have David Bowie Stage. This is a great live album, and there's also one called Live Blackout, something like that. It's culled from the same batch of songs. It might be 2 different legs of the tour, something like that. They're both good, both worth having. Okay, we have OMD Live, Architecture and Morality, and more. This is a great live album. Great sound. This one I got in a used bin, just flipping through. Beach Boys. I loved this as a kid. Beach Boys in concert album. My sisters played the heck out of this. I knew it by heart. I drew a little kid artwork of this. So lo and behold, I'm in a store. I see this in the used bin. I pick it up, and it's a twofer. By that I mean it's got 2 albums on it. It's got Concert and Live in London. The Live in London one is cool too. I believe that I don't know about the chronology of it, whether it's the first live airing of the song Good Vibrations, but certainly an early one based on the stage banter. Then we have this famous group that you may have heard of. Got a couple things by them. Again, Beatles Live at the BBC, that's volume 1. Somewhere in this stack I have volume 2. Okay. On Air, Live at the BBC, volume 2, the Beatles, before Mop Tops. And other names they've been known as, Fab Four. Live at the Hollywood Bowl, the accompanying soundtrack CD for, the 8 Days a Week documentary, great documentary in conjunction with Ron Howard. Continuing with the alternates of available live discs and such, you might have to track this one down. They did a whole series of these, I believe, on this reunion tour in 2005. This is Bauhaus, live in New York City, November 12th, 2005. It was as close as I could get to my birthday. I think it's the show I went to. If not, it was like the night before or the night after. It was cool, Another Roxy Music Live. This is from the early 2001 reunion tour. Great selections of songs. This is not from one venue. This is from venues around the world. Kind of cherry picked, if you will, from the different shows to get, what might have been the highlight tune from that venue. I think Kraftwerk has done a similar thing with their Minimum Maximum live album, where it's not all from one venue, it's, from all different places. Keeping with the Roxy theme, here's the Bryan Ferry Royal Albert Hall 2020. Great band, great song selection, some real obscurities, aired again. And then this is beautiful. Travis and Fripp. Theo Travis and Robert Fripp have done a couple of things together. This is a really nice CD package. It's a double CD, couple different venues. Believe it's at, just looking quickly, I believe it's at a church and another venue. But it's fantastic. Those places have great acoustics. All right, then. This I haven't played in a while. I was sifting through stuff and I found it. This is the band Maine, which is a spin-off, Robert Hampson-led spin-off from the band Loop. And it's Deliquescence. And this is a live recording. I'll have to play that again to re-familiarize myself with it. Because that's the thing. The bigger your collection is, the more stuff goes into some sort of rotation, and it's played often, or it's not played that often, or your favorites that you're listening to over and over, and that kind of thing. On a related note, I'm always the guy that's like, I'll play something once in a day. You have these people that get a record or they get a CD and they get a little obsessive and they're like, oh, I listened to it 5 times in a row. That would not be me. I want to stretch out my enjoyment of it until the end of time, or my time, Once a day, I'm good. Good. Not even every day. This is a great thing. Long time coming, Ronaldo and the Loaf, live in Vienna. This was for a Klang Gallery label anniversary or festival or something. And, whatever the circumstances were that made this happen, we can all rejoice. Because this is amazing. I think there's talk of putting it out officially as a DVD or, some sort of film thing, Blu-ray, DVD, what have you. I'm there buying it. I hope this helped in some way with your live album choices and appreciations. And I'll see you soon in the next episode. Bye-bye.